It's been a few days, so we've got a lot to talk about. And we're going to kick off with EU. Instead of jumping straight into how the finals went, we of course have to talk about how the qualifiers went. And the big news of Archie making it to the finals and therefore officially making it to grand finals. We now have an FNCS grand finals where we have not only Archie and Nipsey making it, but also a double console duo making it over Queasy and Veno, the reigning FNCS champions. I cannot believe that's the sentence I just said. You've probably already seen it. It's all over social media. Everyone was freaking out, but in case you somehow missed it, let me show you what happened in Archie and Nipsey's last game with their finals and therefore grand finals qualification on the line.
Everyone's gonna be looking at us with pistol, so do not peek. Like the whole lobby was looking at a pistol. I can't get you, I don't think.
Yeah, just show. I'm 200 HP, no?
From here though, Nipsey goes on to pull off the God clutch. He only gets an elimination, but he stays alive until top 7 players, clutching up their qualification into the finals and proving why when everyone judged Archie for paying him 500 quid to play with him, he was worth it. Archie then agreed to double his payment and has now paid him 1,000 quid for getting him into the grand finals. That might sound crazy, but Archie's stream was popping off. Both their socials are going crazy, and now they're one of the most talked about and most watched teams going into grand finals. I know you're thinking, well, what are they going to do in grand finals? Well, they've now got none other than Veno coaching them. Archie said, hey, I was able to pay my duo mate to get me to grands. Let me pay one of the best players in the world to coach me once I get there. Apparently, he's now agreed to a contract with Veno that he's going to give them 30% of their combined earnings from grands going to go to Veno. And if Archie somehow makes it to Copenhagen, which is the global championship, he'll give him 60% of his earnings from that. Now, I don't know about you. Archie came and asked me my opinion on that contract. I thought, hey, it's Veno. The social numbers are going to go crazy. They are friends, so this all could just be a meme at this point, but it's pretty crazy coming into grands what we have going on. It isn't just the Archie show. I did want to give love to Akira and Skyjump, the double console duo who have now qualified to the grand finals on EU. Outside of the global championship land, that is the hardest lobby to get into. The grand finals on the hardest region on double console is ridiculous. People are already making jokes. If they make it to Copenhagen, are they going to be given consoles or PCs? Obviously getting a little bit ahead of ourselves, but I'm really excited to see how they go in grand finals. I think this is a big boost to the console community, showing that even if you're on console, you really can compete with the best of the best if you're good enough. Now, if you're curious who else qualified on EU and NA, the best place is go to kinchanalytics.com/FNCS. I'll put a link in the description down below. Unless someone gets banned or unless something changes, which has happened a little bit in the past, but it shouldn't change it too much, all you gotta do is go to the region you care about, check for the top 50. If they're in the top 50, they're in grand finals. It's that simple. Now, I'm not gonna talk too much about who qualified because pretty much all of the big teams outside of the ones we've already talked about, like Rezon and Yanis or Queasy and Veno not making it, pretty much all the really big names we've been expecting to make it have made it. But again, if you're curious any teams, go check the website. That's the best way to find out. As for who popped off in the finals, it was a little bit weird this last week's finals because majority of the teams, about 90% of the teams playing on both EU and NA, were already in the grand finals, or they were so low on their series point leaderboard that even if they won, they still couldn't make grand finals. So there was a lot of teams who weren't really playing for much other than practice, just holding down their drop spots and bragging rights. I do still want to talk about who did well because it is some of the big teams we'd expect. Over on EU, our top 3 was Vico and Pink. I'm really excited to see how this duo does in grand finals. Pink, obviously a very decorated player, been a bit quiet for a while now since early chapter 3. Vico obviously coming off the back of the Red Bull solo LAN win, one of the most hyped up players as far as his just incredible raw fragging potential, and I want to see how they do in grand finals. We also have Seti and Cammy, just so ridiculously consistent, the most consistent duo on EU right now. And then we had Ping and Kyrie. Moving over to NA, we managed to have someone other than Iomzo and Rise win a set lobby tournament. This would have been 6th back-to-back if Iomzo and Rise won it. They're in 4th. They're pretty close, still ridiculously impressive, but we did have Aegis and Kanata who placed 2nd in the last week of FNCS, now closing it out, winning, Duo Cash Cup. They came 2nd the last Duo Cash Cup, closing it out now, so they've come 2nd and now 1st in their last 2 set lobbies coming into grand finals. That has to be a big confidence boost. Then we had Bucky and Okus, which means Bucky and Okus now placed 7th, 5th, and 2nd in the 3 weeks of FNCS. They are looking incredible coming into grand. Grands. And Bucky changed up the strategy. Bucky said for grand finals and pretty much every other set lobby they've played, he was going to go for the island flag every single game. He will be up there getting the bonus 15 points, getting all the loot, and then getting alphaness on the lobby. But they didn't do it today, and I'm not entirely sure why. I'm guessing Bucky probably just wanted to practice. I'm guessing if you go for the flag, there's more chance that you have that really big pop-off game, but I think Bucky and Okus wanted to practice how their game plan looked without going for it, without the extra points, without the extra meds, and they played phenomenally. Bucky even picking up a win and a second place today, and a 6th and an 8th. Very, very consistent for Bucky Okus. Then in third place, we had Aviv and Skittles, who picked up a 12 elim win in their second game and a 12 elim third in their second last game. Again, putting up those big points as a very, very aggressive team on NA. The only other team I will talk about, because I know I'm going to get asked, is what's going on with Clix and Epic Well. They aren't playing particularly well right now. Clix wasn't streaming the finals. They ended up coming in 15th. They brought it back with a 7 elim third in their last game, which was great. Otherwise, they were really, really down the leaderboard. I think there was a combination of Epic Well is apparently sick right now and really didn't want to be on stream. And also Clix really wanted to get the practice in as one of the only proper set lobby tournaments they've played coming into Grands. But unfortunately, there was a bunch of drama. We had a whole bunch of teams contesting them.
You guys are terrible, bro. You guys are gonna keep on, bro. Y'all are gonna keep on living there. You're just gonna get dead last in Grands. I don't give a fuck about this Grands. My maps are making more than the Grands prize pool every single month. Does it look like I give a stop landing jelly? You have the better chance to make money than at your PR. You dumb. And Bevan Google, you have a shrimp dick. I don't give a fuck. I'm saying it. Y'all are all pieces of keep on getting your West players to land on us. It's booted, full for booted, bro. Like dude, it's so weird. Oh my god. Like they're acting like these kids are not their friends. They're West mother. Like, I cannot play a tournament without getting griefed because all these kids are clout fiends, bro. This does not happen to anybody else. I'm not even live and this is happening. Think about that, bro. Oh my god. Like, I love Batman Booga, but like, this is just out of control, bro.
Out of control. It's out of control. It's out of control.
Teams that were randomly now dropping on them because other teams apparently told them to. It got really messy. There was a bunch of drama, and unfortunately, I just have a feeling this drama is going to carry over into Grands. I hope Clix and Whale can shake and have a fantastic FNCS, but at this point, going into Grands, I think if you've been watching NA at all, you have to think you don't have the highest hopes. We'll see. Maybe they can switch jobs. Maybe they can figure something out, but right now, it's not looking too hot. We also had the solo cash cups recently, and Clix was on pace to potentially be the first person in the world to get 3 wins. In their first game, he came second place, coming down to 1 missed shot. Otherwise, he would have won it. Then he went into his second game and won it, and then he got into his third game comfortably. Unfortunately, the third game didn't go too well, but it does go to prove that you can actually win 3 games in a row in the solo victory cup. You got to be good enough to do it, but with good cues and playing really well, it is possible. We also had G Money, who was close to being the first person to ever do it as well. He did win both of his games in a row, but the last game finished with only 1 or 2 minutes left. He got out, got in queue, and the game didn't pop. With G Money right now pretty much winning 1 to 2 every single week, I'm pretty confident he would have won it. He has about like a 30 to 50% win rate in solo finals. There was a chance if he got that queue, he would have been the first person in the world to get 3 wins, but it was still very exciting to see them duke it out and try. I did want to give a bit of an update on what's going on with the Console Champions Cup. They just changed the date. So if you're looking to play the Console Champions Cup, it is now on the 17th, 19th, 20th, and 21st. So it's on 4 separate days rather than overlapping and having multiple rounds on one day, which was just going to be terrible. The finals are now on a Monday, which has a lot of people upset because obviously with school and work, that is a much more difficult day to play on. Hopefully with it being a little bit later in the day, it shouldn't be too big of a problem for lots of people, but it is also still clashing with the Last Chance Major, which is obviously the last chance for teams to qualify for the $4 million LAN event next season. So you got to pick one. You're going to play Console Champions Cup or Last Chance Major. And a lot of the console community is actually happy about it overlapping. because a lot of the really, really good PC players who would normally then jump on their console and play in the Console Champions Cup are now going to be focused on the Last Chance Major. But it does mean particularly good console players can't play both. So it kind of goes both ways. I don't think they deliberately did this. Some people saying, oh, they deliberately did it so the PC sweats aren't stealing console money. It's just the scheduling thing. I think it's the same reason why we don't have a reboot round this season. There just wasn't enough time to fit in the tournaments we had. It's the last weekend of the season. They just had to throw everything on there and get everything in. So we'll see how we go. I'm going to hopefully follow it as much as I can, but Last Chance Major is obviously going to take a lot of the attention and a lot of the focus from the competitive community. Lastly, I haven't talked about this kind of stuff too much, but we do have the leaks coming out for the new season. I'll start making some dedicated videos to this closer to the end of this season, but we now have wall running and wall kicking leaked to being worked on right now for the new season. This has been leaked a few times now as a mechanic they're considering putting in the game, but now according to Sheena, it's actively being tested for the new season. And I'm intrigued. Wall running could be really cool. I don't know what wall kicking would be like. Maybe it's like to damage walls to phase in. I don't know, maybe it's like instead of pickaxing, you like get momentum and then kick the wall. That could be very interesting to see how that plays. Maybe you kick off the wall. I don't exactly know how this is going to work. The one thing I am excited for, it does look like as both these mechanics should be only usable while you're sprinting on the walls jumping, it shouldn't need any new keybinds, which is a huge issue for controller players right now, because they keep adding more and more mechanics every chapter. Pretty soon you're going to have 8 paddles to be able to play on controller, but hopefully these ones don't need any extra binds, so that shouldn't be an issue. But I want to hear your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. Do you think this will be a good addition to the game? Do you think it'll be a bad addition? Are you worried? I'm gonna choose to be optimistic, only because all of the different mechanics they've added to the game, like sprinting, like mantling, like sliding, that I was originally very worried about, I really can't imagine Fortnite without it. I go back and watch old tournaments and old videos, and I'm wondering why people are running around on low ground, not just mantling up a layer. It just feels weird to watch Fortnite without it. So I'm hoping it's good, but I guess we'll see.